It is a great pleasure to be speaking to all of you on this special occasion of the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the Union. Now, my interaction with the Union has been a long and pleasant one, starting with the 81 Congress in Ottawa, and then through the, I would say first the journals, and then the book series where I published my book on hydrogen bonding in '99. Then the commissions themselves, after some time in the executive for several years, during which time I was pleased to be able to help in the celebration of the International Year of Crystallography and the setting up of the new journal IUCrJ at that point in time, and finally to be given the opportunity to organize a Congress itself in Hyderabad in 2017. So it's been a very pleasant experience, and also the Union has acted as a touchstone for me when I measured my own academic progress through the years. Now, I remember the celebration of IUCr 50, and it's been some time, and now we are at IUCr 75. So I was beginning to wonder a little bit about where IUCr would be at 100, for example. I mean, from 50 to 75, we've seen quite a few changes, but I feel that between 75 and 100, I think we're going to see even bigger and more exciting changes in the subject itself. Now, let me put it this way. For about 100 years, we've had a situation where diffraction-based structure determination have sort of dominated the subject. But one must remember that the subject of crystallography and the notion of crystals itself is much, much older than diffraction. I mean, we've known about something called crystals for more than 2000 years, and crystallography had not much to do with diffraction or structure in the way in which we think about it today. Now, put another way, if I could say, this whole idea of structure itself may need to be reconsidered. I mean, what is structure in the end? I mean, it's something that we are able to do in more and more finer details, but one shouldn't forget that there is another way of looking at matter, and this is in terms of properties. Now, let me give you a familiar example. All of us know that the ancient Greeks talked about matter in the form of the 5 elements, like earth, water, fire, then wind, and then finally ether. In this country, we looked at matter in an entirely different way. We started with ether and said that ether is something that can be heard. Then you come to wind. Wind can be heard and felt. And then we come to fire. It can be heard, felt, and seen. And then we come to water, which can be heard, felt, seen, and touched. And finally, we come to the earth, which can be heard, felt, seen, touched, and smelt. So we started exactly in the opposite way, putting property before structure. Now, when I look at crystallography today, I find that we are at a crisis point, somewhere where physics was in the late 19th century, where the idea of structure, I mean, what was a wave, what was a particle? And in this kind of a situation, we had to go between matter and mind. I think the dichotomy between structure and property is something that we really have to think about today, and I think this is where you're going to see the difference between IUCr 75 and IUCr 100. At this stage in time, I think we will start looking at property in an entirely different way, because we already have examples where isomorphous structures have entirely different properties. And I think this is the way in which we're going to have to start looking at the subject. We're going to see very exciting changes, possibly a revolution. I think crystallographers, crystals, and all these things are going to make a big, big difference in the future. And this happy occasion of the IUCr at 75, I wish all of you the very best in your research endeavors. It's a great pity that I'm not able to be with you and share at this happy time. Very good wishes also to the youngsters, people who are getting into the subject. This is a great and wonderful subject, and I am very happy to have been associated with it for so many pleasant years. Thank you very much, all of you.